All right, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate it as always. Let's get the show on the road. All right. All right. So I'm also streaming on Rumble tonight as well. I don't know why I didn't post it. I'm not sure why I didn't. But anyway, so I'm doing a simultaneous live stream again. Anyway, Flown Grown, Uptech, Maria, thank you for the 5x5. Jasenia, Williams, Cowboy, Jenny, what's going on? Prep to Adapt, Elaine, Groundhog, Jeep Dog, Colt, thank you for the 5x5. WTC, Jenny, Kathy, Dog, Sunny, Base, Sojourner, thank you for the 5x5. Ed, Rhonda, Leslie, Scout, and Dad, thank you for the 5x5. Girls want to have fun, thank you for the 5x5. Prep, Master Blaster, Sorayas, Patty, Let's Go, another friend, Derek, thank you for the 5x5. Dobie, Demo named Don, thank you for the 5x5. Christian, Eli, Nobody, Eric, Comet Moon, Rooster, Busted. Thank you for the 5x5. Maria, doing good today, I think. I should be doing good today. Whatever. Getting old sucks, that's all I know. But, yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you doing, by the way, Maria Jackson? How's everything with you? Roman Davis said, I went to the store today and I'm already seeing it. Right, so we're going to talk about the lack of items that are going to be in the shelves. Now, a lot of people are, saying that food's going to disappear. There's a small amount of food that's going to disappear at the shelves, but nothing that's going to kick us in the dick, at least not that hard. So we just have to adjust accordingly. A lot of channels are making it sound like we're going to be in this kind of apocalyptic supply chain demand kind of deal. And I'm like, yo, it's not even fucking close to that. Yes, and I have a list of stuff, guys, that we're going to talk about a little later tonight. I do have a list of things that are you're going to see. Thank you, what it do? What you call it? We're definitely going to see a lack of stuff. And I have a list, and this stuff is not that bad. It's not going to be the end of the world. But I did learn that the Chinese factories are closing down because of the tariffs here, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to read an article in a little bit. That is very interesting. That there's a backlash on that end. I didn't see that coming, but yeah. So if you can't live without cheap Chinese garbage, you're already toast. Hudson Valley, exactly. Now, there are two devices that I'm going to do a video on, I guess, this weekend. One's going to come out Saturday, the other one's going to come out Sunday. It's about it's two battery packs, and one's the cooler that I've been talking to you guys about for the last couple of weeks. It's by Anchor, and I'm going to open a box today, and I guess I'm going to do an unboxing. I might have to do it in the living room, but I'll do an unboxing, and that'll be like a short video in itself. And then I'll do a video on it that'll release Saturday or Sunday, whichever it is. But obviously, guys, if you need some kind of tech gear or whatever before June rolls around, or later this month, rather, excuse me, a lot of the effects of the tariffs are going to start kicking in this month. They don't say exactly when, but just get ready for the bullshit. Sunset said Chinese factories are declaring bankruptcy already. And that could tank their economy. China's already having an economic problem, so this is just going to compound it. But they're trying to double down and go toe to toe with us, and it's not going to work out. So, yeah, we shall see where this goes. This is definitely very, very interesting. Trump's popularity is not in the toilet, but they say it's lowest than it has been for the last 70 presidents or something like that, or 70 years, one of the two. But I was just like, who cares? If he gets it done, it'll be okay. Again, I'm not a fan of him because I'm not a fan of him, but I'm not going to start shifting, gears on like people who love him. They're like, look what he's doing to the tariffs and high priced foods and high priced supplies and printers and car. None of that shit matters. Let's wait till the end result. Let's wait till the dust settles and see what it looks like. And if it looks bad, then we can motherfuck the shit out of him. Right now, everybody has to be easy. So yes, if you guys don't, what a dude said, nurse, Patriot nurse, I gotta, yes, Patriot nurse says medical supplies are in major trouble. Medical supplies have been in trouble for some time. They have been in a long while right now. I would say for the last couple of years. So if it's going to get worse, this would be the time. I don't know exactly what, but I can look it up to see what the list is on that, and then I'll read it off in a little bit. But yeah, a lot of channels are not flipping out, but they're trying to make it gloomy and doomy. Medical supplies. Effective. Sorry. So they're trying to make this shit all gloomy and doomy, and I'm like, yo, it's not even that bad. It'll be okay. You know, a lot of people are, you know, again, at least some of the channels, they're carrying on like it's the apocalypse of, you know, supplies. I'm like, grow up. Enough already. We've been down this fucking road before. We've been down this road a few times before, and it's always worked out. Devil Sedin Prepping said massive Chinese people offering themselves right now due to tariffs. Yeah, again, China is going through it right now. They have their own set of problems. This is compounding the shit out of it. So I found an article that says tariff policies are threatening the U.S. healthcare system. I did type in medical supplies affected by tariffs, and hospitals are beginning to grapple with tariffs fallout, including drugs, medical supplies. They said hospitals are among trade groups lobbying for tariff exemptions for critical medical supplies and drugs. So this should be interesting to see. This is definitely going to get out of hand. Let's see. There's a lot we're going to be talking about tonight, so I'm going to try to stay on point as best as I can. Sorry. Yeah, now people passing away in China by their own hands has gone up dramatically even before the tariffs. So the tariffs actually probably going to make it worse. So, listen, they got 1 billion people. They can afford it. Chinese. So give me another 2 seconds to type this in. It's just a rabbit hole. They're going down. Trump's. So I looked up here in the United States, farmers are offering themselves because of the tariff war, the trade wars. But this might be an old article. Give me a second. This is an old article. It's fucking 4 years old. As far as they did say that the tariff and China spat is going to affect farmers here because China is canceling a lot of orders from American farmers, such as soy and pork, which are the two major farming supplies that go to China. A lot of the Chinese are canceling. A lot of Chinese companies are canceling a lot of those orders. So we're definitely going to see a rise in farmers sitting on a lot of supplies that they cannot get rid of. Soy, no one really needs that shit anyway. But nonetheless, the Chinese do buy it. And the Chinese, they dropped their, if I'm not mistaken, there was something like 23,000 tons of soy. 23,000 tons. They backed it all the way down to 1,800 pounds. Or 1,800 tons, excuse me. So 23,000 tons of soy, their orders all the way down to 1,800 tons. That's a lot. So now all of these farmers are sitting on shit they can't fucking use or move. But nonetheless, it's the problem. So let's get back on track. Give me a second. Also, guys, if you don't mind, try to comment in the chat on Rumble to see if I see it on this app here. Also, guys, if you don't, 25 people on Rumble are watching. It was one chat. Matter of fact, I'm gonna test it myself just to see if I see it on here. Um, and I didn't see it. I guess it doesn't come over on here, but whatever. Farmers need parts of their prep to adapt. Said farmers need parts of their equipment and fertilizers. They do. That's another problem that's going to affect the farmers here. Yes, soy's been getting hit hard, but again, we're not sending it to them, so we just have, like we just have our own supply here. All right, so yeah, the third party app is not picking it up, but I am seeing it on the live stream on Rumble. So whatever. Anyway, guys, let's get to it. Give me a second. Let's close some shit out. All right. So this article was written actually last year, December 18th of 2024. They were already predicting Home Slice, I could see you, thank you, and Buchanan, 247, thank you, and Coco Chili Chef, thank you, appreciate it. So this article came out in December of last year. So various factors could threaten the supplies of cereal, seafood, fresh produce, and other foods in 2025. American food supply is one of the most abundant and diverse on Earth, but this robust system is not without its challenges. Even in the world's largest economy, consumers will encounter empty shelves in certain grocery departments from time to time. Just as anyone who has tried to buy at Trader Joe's recently, especially the eggs. Many factors can lead to the shortage of one food item or another, and there are several reasons for concern about potential impacts in the coming year. The ripple effect of climate change and foodborne illnesses to expect changes in U.S. immigration and trade policies. They try to bring up climate change every chance they get. Every chance. They're like, oh, climate change. Fucking this guy fell over, climate change. Biden, absent-minded, climate change. Rosie O'Donnell is fat, climate change. They always bring it up when they can, and it's so fucking unnecessary. Worse rainstorms, climate change. Aliens are attacking us and zombies are coming out of the ground, climate change. Anyway, although widespread food scarcity is unlikely, shoppers can reasonably expect product shortages across several categories in the year. Let's see, I'm skipping this bullshit. In 2025, shoppers could notice a lack of fresh produce on their shelves for various reasons, and one of the reasons is the immigration policy. If there's not enough illegal immigrants to pick produce, we're going to see less produce in the supermarkets. I was like, what? Get yourself a little American and get them out in the field and start whatever. So, first, some farms depend on migrant labor for picking and packing. That workforce may soon be in jeopardy. However, following the recent U.S. presidential election, President-elect Donald Trump has vowed to enact greater restrictions on immigration and conduct mass deportation of undocumented migrants once he takes power in January. If immigration policies get tougher to the point where farm workers are harder to find or hire, this could cause a shortage. Bat, I think that's his name, noting that berries and apples are examples of fresh produce that is heavily reliant on migrant labor. Now, Bat is Tessa Bat, founder and CEO of Food Digital Safety Consultancy. I think that's her last name. Tejeda's Bat. Tessa, I don't know, whatever. So, here we go, guys. Here goes the fucking hang on to your knickers. But this is where it gets stupid. Climate change is another factor that can lead to a food shortage. We notice extreme weather events like floodings and droughts can impact growing in farming regions, which may limit crop yield. For example, droughts could create shortages for water-intense foods like almonds, while extensive rain can cause poor water quality and damage corn and soybean. Changes in U.S. trade policies could also impact food supplies. President Trump plans to implement a 25% tariff on all imported goods from Mexico and Canada, and 10% tariff on China's goods could increase grocery prices, making some items difficult to find or purchase. Tariffs will have an indirect impact on shortages by making food more expensive, leading to lower demands, leading to lower supplies, a cyclical effect that could lead eventual shortages. Who gives a fuck? William Case, I call bullshit on it as well. I call bullshit on a lot of this. I think that one side of the media just wants to wreck Trump as much as they possibly can. So they're going to embellish on a lot of things that, people are already upset about. So now they're looking at this food issue and they're like, you see what Trump is doing? He's fucking us. And meanwhile, he's just doing what's right for the country. And he said that we were going to have to go through these hardships to get to the other side. You cannot, guys, rebuild a home without fucking some shit up. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. Gold prices sink. This is from Adriana. She put a link in the chat. Gold prices sink as China dumps stockpile. Somebody said a week or two ago China was going to do this. That's not a surprise. Somebody said a week ago that China was going to fucking dump their gold back onto the market and fucking up the price of gold. I think that was like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3, whatever. Very interesting move, but not surprisingly. Domestic food recalls outbreaks can lead to temporary shortages as well at grocery stores. In 2024, foodborne disease outbreaks, including E. coli, listeria, impacted various food items, including organic walnuts, organic carrots, and onions on McDonald's burgers, according to the U.S. CDC. According to the CDC, in fact, the CDC records show infection from E. coli may climb to nearly 14,000 as of November 2024. Again, this article came out on December 18th of 2024, so they sort of, I don't know why they did it that way. Customers are taking note when it comes to price spikes at the grocery stores. Of course we are. Fair Trade American says shoppers are concerned about the cost and quality of groceries, specifically when it comes to prices for commodities grown by farmers in tropical regions hit by unprecedented weather patterns. Nonprofit expects American shoppers will pay more for bananas and other products, herbs, spices, nuts, oils, and they forgot coffee. Coffee has skyrocketed. I look at a pack of coffee now for $15. Now maybe that's New York prices, but it used to be 8 or 9. So at best it'd be $12 if I went anywhere else. $15 here in New York for a thing of coffee, a pack of coffee, ground at that, not even beans, ground. And the one I use is Tim Hortons. I love Tim Hortons coffee. That is like one of the best coffees out there. But anyway, experts like BAT are keeping an eye on this. More outbreaks can lead to shortages, primarily due to the lack of traceability and transparency, he says. When the source of contamination cannot be identified quickly, it is in the interest of protecting the public health. Regulatory agencies tend to be overly cautious and ask industries to conduct expanded recalls. In turn, these items will be removed from the shelves. Again, so this is one concern that they have. Now, farmers this is an article on the Post. U.S. farmers in full-blown crisis as China's orders for pork, soybean plunge over Trump's tariffs. President Trump's tariffs have sent the U.S. agricultural industry into a full-blown crisis as canceled orders from China are forcing farmers to lay off workers or shut down their own businesses, according to the trade group. And that's here in the United States. Okay, so China last week made the largest cancellation of pork since Mr. 19 pandemic in 2020, halting a shipment of 12,000 tons of pork. They canceled that. Meanwhile, China dropped its soybean order to just 1,800 tons worth in a week ending April 17, down massively, more than 97% from, I stand corrected, 72,000 tons of purchase the week before. So 72,000 tons of soy was purchased the week before April 17. They're down to 1,800 tons. That's a lot. Wes Schumeyer, who runs a family farm in Clarence, Missouri, that raises cattle and grown grains, said he's nervous about whether the U.S. export will find foreign markets for his crops. We are all still planning, but it's on a leap of faith that there will be a foreign market to export this stuff to. Trump's 145% tariff on China goods and national retaliatory 125 rate on U.S. has thrown a major wrench into trade across the board between the world and two largest economies. In response, there has been a drastic increase in canceled sailings by Chinese vessels to the U.S. ports. The China to U.S. vessel traffic is down 44% compared to a year ago, according to Global Ocean Booking Tracker, or Vison's Global Booking Tracker. I didn't know they had so many agencies that do this shit. Anyway, the impact of canceled Chinese order will be felt across the industry, starting with farms forcing to shutter, then slamming their longshoremen out of work from canceled sailings. Then the truck drivers who transport goods from those parts. Now I know one guy, he's a longshoreman. He's actually a lieutenant in the firehouse. I'm going to ask him about this. I'm going to ask him if this is going to affect him or not. This probably is, being that they're down 44% in traffic, vessel traffic, that is, from China to U.S. So if that's less ships coming in, obviously that's less workers on the dock. I'm absolutely going to pick his brain about that. Where are we? 23 minutes in. All right. So let's see. It's already happening, Friedman said. Unlike toys and television and so forth, it's pretty dramatic. If nobody's buying, you may harvest it because you got to get it off the tree, like cherries and fruits. But what do you do with it if you can't sell it? Unfortunately, it's probably going to rot. That's the unfortunate. Shoppers may see temporary influx of cheaper produce at supermarkets like cherries that cost a quarter of what they used to. But that's just a sign of farmers going out of business and giving away their excess supplies. A wood pulp and paperboard exporter received an immediate cancellation of 6,400 tons of goods and a hold on 15 rail cars sitting in demurrage when fees are charged for delayed movement of goods. Did I say that right? Demurrage. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong too. Exporters have 9,000 metric tons of product already on the water headed for China, and expect to arrive May 13th. That's in 12 days. And the companies worry it could be forced to divert the shipment to a costly warehouse if buyers refuse the cargo at port. This is seemingly going to get very interesting. The Chinese market would be a huge loss for American farmers who export more than $27 billion worth of U.S. agricultural goods to the country last year. U.S. farmers across the country are already in crisis mode, from hay farmers to fruit and nuts exporters to those growing cotton and hardwood lumber. Wow, that's interesting. Meanwhile, a grass seed exporter told AGTC that it revealed for 2 weeks' notice, just 2 weeks' notice, excuse me, that 8 loads were canceled by China customers, even though vessel bookings had already been placed. That's interesting. This is going to get very interesting. Ran blue. Buffering bad on my end. Yeah, sorry. I think I'm doing fine on this end. Anyway, a little more to the soybean farmers lost a good chunk of their share of the Chinese market to Brazilian counterparts during the 2020 to 2018 trade wars during Trump's first administration, according to the American Soybean Association. Didn't know there were so many fucking associations. Schumacher, the farmer from Missouri, is doubtably concerned over the contract he signed with the U.S. government to cover crops, rye, wheat, and grass on his land to help prevent runoff during the winter. He invested $45,000 to plant the crops, but said Doge had cut funding from the Soil Water Outcome Fund, which administers the grant to farmers who are supposed to get paid later this month. I never thought I'd sign a contract by my own government and not get paid, Schumacher said. This is the kind of shit that people are pissed off at Trump and Doge over. Like, all right, this is affecting American farmers. Let's focus on this and get this back in play and worry about all the other bullshit later. Anyway, the White House officials told the Post that Biden-era contract had been eliminated, but if the applicants meet requirement for administration's advanced marketing producers initiative, Schumacher and other farmers should expect to receive a large share of their project's projected federal dollars, Again, this is more shit farmers do not need to these are hoops they do not need to go through. To sit there and go, yes, the Biden administration era contract was eliminated, but then said, well, if they're applicable and they meet the requirements, that means you're putting them through more shit that they don't need to go through right now. Again, governments, guys, across the board, whether it's Trump, Biden, Obama, Clinton's, some future fucking president we don't even know about yet, they make life harder for American citizens. It's a fucking fact. Because this shit here is putting farmers through more stress than they really need. Now, it's always been said that the farming industry was looking to be destroyed by said presidents or politicians or the elites, whatever it is. And to put farmers through this process that they do not need to fucking go through right now. To sit there and go, oh, well, if they meet the requirements. What do you mean if they meet the requirements? Now, yes, there are probably some Chinese farmers out there that they're looking to screw over. Screw them over. This guy, Meyer from Missouri, you don't need to fucking screw him over anymore. But here we go. Fucking our people yet again. How the tariffs could shortage, deep decline in ocean, whatever. I don't think I'm going to read that article because it's too fucking long. But I do have a list of shit that I want to ramble off to you guys. Also, I want to talk about the measles and bird flu scare that is going into overdrive right now. Overdrive. They are beating this drum like you wouldn't believe right now when we talk about bird flu and measles. Every time measles pop up somewhere, they're like, oh, it was in an airport. Look at this, and people are getting scared about the measles. It's the measles, man. You'll be okay. If you're built like a baby back bitch, maybe you won't make it. But I am 100% confident that if you get the measles, even if you weren't inoculated, you will be okay. You'll be itchy for a little bit, and you'll be fine. Yes, the couple of people that passed away from it, they got bitch-ass nigga syndrome. I don't know what else to tell you, but measles will be fine. But they're going into overdrive with that, and bird flu, we're going to get into that in a little bit. Give me 2 seconds to square this bullshit away. So this is another article, how tariffs could cause shortages in America's stores. A sharp decline in ocean freight from China during April is a sign of supply chain issues that will begin in May. And obviously, We're in May. Tariffs make it more expensive to bring goods into the United States. One of the primary consequences of artificially inflating the cost of imports is that you get less of them, possibly a lot less. American retailers are bracing for an American supply chain disruption that could lead to price hikes, shortages as soon as next month, and might continue for a while. This, they say, could continue up to a year or two. Even if things get squared away, let's say next month, it'll be another 3 or 4 months of, we'll feel the effects for the next 3 or 4 months till shit starts correcting itself or getting back on track. American retailers are bracing for a shortage or supply chain disruption. Even if Trump administration backs down from the trade war, this could go on for a while. Schumer is a Democrat state senator. Again, a Democratic state senator or not, this is still affecting farmers. No, Schumer is not a Democrat. This is Wes Schumer, who runs a family farm in Clarence, Missouri. This is not the senator or whoever you just said, Schumer. This is a farmer, Schumer. And Schumer is a common name. Anyway, cargo volumes to American ports are expected to significantly decline because of the canceled or delayed orders due to the tariffs, says Jordan Gold, Vice President of Supply Chain and Custom Policies of the National Retail Federation, NRF. My God, these people and their organizations. There's so many of them. Why are there so many fucking organizations tracking everything under the sun? It's just, this is annoying because I got a million abbreviations I got to get. The price of a lap dance just went from $20 to $30. Probably so. $20 to $30 and a dozen eggs. Though eggs are coming back, so maybe that's not a thing anymore. All right, so that was an article. So pretty much in a nutshell, guys, it's just saying that a lot of the ports are seeing less traffic. So yes, they're going to lay off longshoremen. Truckers are going to be laid off probably next. The truckers that bring the supplies from the ports to the stores, they're probably going to lay them off or use less of them. I'm not sure what that's going to look like either. Only time will tell. Cargo volumes to the port expect to be significantly declined. Telltale signs of those disruption is a sharp decline in ocean freight heading to the United States. The Port of Los Angeles, for example, currently expect to receive just 14 vessels in the week of May 4th through 10th. That's starting Sunday, I think it is, right? Yes, Sunday. That would be a 30% drop from last year. The biggest drop looms. Ocean freight booking from China to the U.S. are down 60% since the last tariff took effect. Why the export drop was happening now when the tariffs have been in place since Donald Trump's Liberation Day announced April 2nd? Because of the shipping time from China. It takes about 30 days for a container ship from China to reach the West Coast, and the higher tariffs imposed by Trump did not apply to the ships that departed China April 9th. Those ships will continue to arrive on the West Coast through early May, which actually was this week. Excuse me. All right, guys. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of what we're here for. The supplies that we are going to start seeing a shortage on. This is about 20 of them. There's probably more, but let's go down the list. Automobiles and auto parts. North America auto industry is deeply integrated with vehicles and components frequently crossing borders before being sold into the U.S. Under Trump's tariff, the cost of a new car could increase by $1,000 to $5,000. Now, when I was buying the 2022 Tahoe, I ran into a markup. And when I spoke to a guy about the markup, it was at a Chevy dealership in Jersey, and I said, listen, that markup is bullshit. $8,000 for a Tahoe? And he was like, yes, I said, no, there's no reason for that markup. There is no, where does that $8,000 go? He goes, well, it goes into I'm like, yo, I'm not buying a truck then. So with that, they knocked off the markup. So if you're looking to purchase a vehicle, you can get the markup knocked off, even with this tariff bullshit. Just know that you can wheel and deal with these guys. The highest I saw the markup for a Tahoe was $8 grand, and that was in Texas, out of all places. When I was calling around, I was willing to travel to Texas to get a Tahoe, and they said $8,000 markup. I'm like, are you fucking drunk? And the guy was like, well, and I said the same thing. Where's that $8 grand going to? Well, it goes into a fund, and I'm like, bullshit. See you later. Hung up the phone. Got my fucking Tahoe for what it was worth. Not a $2,000 markup, not an $8,000 markup. So let these fucking scumbag car dealers get the best of you. All right, so according to industry analysis, it's going up $1,000 to $5,000. This isn't just limited to new vehicles. It's replacement parts like engines, tires, transmissions. We will see higher prices. Mexican manufacturing impacts on car prices. Automakers such as Ford, GM, and Stellantis rely heavily on parts in Mexican factories. For consumers, this means not only higher sticker prices at the dealership, but an increase in repair costs. The ripple effects should discourage car purchases and lead to a slowdown in the auto industry. I went to go get oil change in my car 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. I went to go get an oil change, and it was like $90 to get it done, or $100 to get it done. It was like $90 to get it done. I went back a month ago, and it was $130 for an oil change. I said, yo, I could do this shit myself for way less, And the guy was like, yeah, I said, that's too high, So anyway, again, not wheeling and dealing, but got a little bit of a discount because I said, that's bullshit. Do some diff says, I'm looking for a used vehicle right now for $3,500 to $5,500. Yeah, well, yeah, used vehicles shouldn't be affected by this, but they're saying that new and used, which doesn't make any sense. Used makes no sense. It's already here. There shouldn't be a markup on it, like at all. Again, that's them trying to fuck you over. Fresh produce, guys. This is where, some of people are going to be like, my avocados and bananas. Whatever, dude. Stop being a hipster. Anyway, fresh produce. Mexico plays a significant role in supplying fresh produce to the United States, with imports accounting for nearly half of the fruits and nuts and 63% of vegetables consumed in the country. Staples like avocados, tomatoes, strawberries are poised for a dramatic price increase. For instance, 90% of avocados in America come from Mexico. The Produce Distributor Association warns that tariff distorts the marketplace, pushing costs along the supply chain that consumers ultimately absorb at checkout. Whatever, dude. We'll be okay. We'll be fine. Let's see. Beef and pork. U.S. imported $3 billion worth of beef and $1.1 billion worth of pork from Canada last year. These produce, integral to many American diets, are expected to see a price hike. The integrated livestock supply chain between Canada and the U.S. means tariffs will disrupt meat production and processing and raise costs for consumers. So beef is going to go up from Canada, big fucking deal. We also get a lot of our meat from, I think, Brazil, and we also get a lot of our meat from here within the country, so we'll be fine. Cheese and dairy products. Oh, God, no, not the cheese. Canadian dairy exports to the United States include cheese, butter, and milk from a significant part of the American dairy market. We also get a lot of milk and butter and cheese from the United States as well. So again, there might be a shortage on cheese, not a big deal. Some of us fat fucks don't need cheese anyway. Tariffs will inflate of these prices and these produce, making everyday staples less accessible for many families. Oh no. Cheese, a versatile ingredient in dishes from pizzas to sandwiches, become a luxury for budget-conscious consumers. These price increase might also hit restaurants and fast food chains, which rely heavily on dairy products, potentially leading to higher menu prices. Already seeing that shit now. Gasoline. Canada supplies 60% of crude oil imported into the U.S., making it the top energy partner. Tariffs on Canada oil could drive gas prices from 25 cents to 75 cents per gallon, especially in regions like the Midwest, Rockies, and Great Lakes. Higher fuel prices have a domino effect, increasingly transporting costs for goods across all industries. For everyday drivers, filling up at the pump could become painful, expensive, and especially during the summer months or the summer travel months. Excuse me. I gave up cheese. I have kidney stones. Cheese causes kidney stones? I didn't know that. Does it really? Whatever. All right. So here's the bigger issue right now, guys. The big issue is this bullshit that they're pushing. They're gonna push this nonsense right now, and they're gonna get you come next winter. All right. So heating oil and natural gas. Natural gas, a vital energy source for heating homes in winter, could see a price hike under the proposed tariffs. Canada supplies nearly all U.S. natural gas imports, and disruption to this trade would raise heating costs. Families in colder regions who depend on natural gas to stay warm may feel the financial pinch the most. Beyond household, industries that rely on natural gas as a power source may also face higher operational costs. Again, they're definitely going to get people come next winter with this bullshit. We shall wait and see. Yes, calcium on milk and cheese gives you kidney stones. All right, Adriana, there is a way around that. There's a way around that. I got to read up on it. There's something that dissolves. There's like a natural supplement that dissolves calcium so that you don't have that problem with kidney stones. I got to look up. I thought it was apple cider vinegar, but I think I'm wrong on that one. Anyway, here, all right, guys, for you alcoholics, again, hang on to the bullshit. But tequila and mezcal. Tariffs on Mexican import wouldn't just affect produce and meat. They'll hit tequila and mezcal, staples of U.S. cocktail culture. Oh no. The U.S. imported 4.6 billion of these spirits in 2023, and their popularity is only growing. Tariffs will drive up costs, making it more expensive to enjoy a margarita or mezcal old-fashioned at your favorite bar or restaurant. Distilled Spirit Council points out that these products are uniquely tied to Mexican geography, and production methods, meaning they cannot be produced anywhere else. So I get it. So what? So you go without, instead of drinking fucking tequila and mezcal, you commies, just drink whiskey. Problem solved. There you go. All right, Mexican beer. Oh no. Oh no. Mexican beer brands like Corona, Modelo, and Dos Quies, I'm pretty sure I said that wrong, make up 83% of U.S. beer import. I didn't know that. Valued at over $3 billion annually, tariffs will significantly impact the cost of these popular beverages, making your next six-pack or beer at a bar notably pricier. Given their dominant share in the beer market, these price increases should shift consumer preference to lead to reduced consumptions or lead to more people buying American fucking beer. I know that these beers supposedly taste better. I don't know. I had a Corona. I can't tell the difference between a Corona and a Budweiser because my palate sucks when it comes to drinking beer. I can't tell the difference with whiskey, but I can't tell the difference between beer. But anyway, that's my problem. First of all, if you're drinking Canadian whiskey, you're a communist. But Canadian whiskey, a key exporter of whiskey in the United States, with brands like Crown Royal and Canadian Club enjoying strong popularity, tariffs will raise the prices on these spirits, affecting their affordability for American consumers. Why are you drinking that shit anyway? And Crown Royal, I think Crown Royal whiskey comes with a fucking tampon. So yeah, you don't need to drink that shit either. As whiskey is a staple in cocktails and celebration, higher costs could deter some buyers or encourage shift towards domestic brands as in American whiskeys. I don't understand what the problem is. Stop drinking fucking Crown Royal. I'm pretty sure you grow a vagina drinking that shit anyway. You need to drink the fucking man whiskey, not this bullshit. Anyway, electronics. Consumer electronics such as smartphones, laptops, TVs are heavily imported, particularly from China. Tariffs on these goods will make gadgets more expensive, affecting households that rely on these items for work, education, and entertainment. Retailers like Best Buy warn that nearly all consumer electronics are imported, leaving little room for to mitigate higher prices, which says they're just going to fucking raise the prices on it. That's all. Jim Beam. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I got a ton of fucking whiskey in the living room, and a lot of it is like small company bought, like small business kind of shit. Crown Royal, man, forget it. I grow a vagina because I drink a Crown Royale. That's probably how it's said, Crown Royale, not Crown Royal, whatever. All right, footwear. With 99% of the shoes in the U.S. being imported, Trump's tariffs could significantly increase the cost of footwear. China, one of the primary exporters of shoes, will be particularly impacted by the proposed 10% additional tariff fee. Families, especially with those growing children, could face a steep price. You better fucking wrap leather around their shoes, their feet. There you go. Problem solved. Get a piece of leather, wrap it around their feet like the Native Americans used to do. Done. Don't worry about Nikes. Don't worry about Jordans. Wrap a piece of leather with some cotton in there. Done. Families, especially those with growing children, could face steep prices for this essential items like school shoes, athletic sneakers, winter boots. Retailers such as Walmart and Target may pass on the added cost to consumers. Not may, they will pass it on. I don't know why they keep saying may. These people live to fuck us, like in the ass. Making affordable footwear harder to find. Clothing is another one. I'm not going to go down the whole fucking, I'm not going to read it, but I'll read it. Apparels and other categories heavily reliant on imports. Tariff on clothing from Canada, Mexico, and China will raise costs across all fashion segments, from budget family, basic to high-end items. Popular retailers like TJ Maxx and Target have already signaled that prices on everyday essentials like jeans, jackets, t-shirts could rise. For families on a tight budget, this means you're gonna sew your fucking clothes. That's what this means. Stop being fucking an asshole. Oh my God, Trump is taking our clothing away. You better sew the shit out of them. You better learn to whittle a fucking sweater or some shit. Problem solved. Toys and games. Majority of toys sold in the U.S. are manufactured in China, and proposed tariffs will likely make these products more expensive. Holidays and birthdays driving toy purchases. The increased cost will hit families particularly hard on gift-giving season. From stuffed animals to board games and action figures, these higher prices lead to parents reconsidering shopping habits and opt for fewer toys under the tree. Or you better whittle a fucking toy. You better get a piece of wood and whittle a fucking rocking horse with that shit. There you go. Problem solved with the toys. You want to fucking play games? Get rocks and marbles and play rocks and marble games. I'm solving the world's problems right here as we read this shit. Now, they talked about electronics. They also mentioned, they failed to mention, like, the gamers out there, they're flipping out. Because I thought I read something about, like, PS5 and the new Xbox and the controllers. Those prices are going to go up, and they're going to be flipping out. You better read a fucking book. You better read a fucking book. Done. All right, lithium batteries, guys. This is where it gets a little fucking wonky. Lithium batteries, essential to powering electric vehicles, laptops, smartphones, are predominantly imported from China. Tariffs will raise the cost, making eco-friendly technology less accessible. Higher prices on batteries may also show adoption of electric vehicles. May slow the adoption of electric vehicles, meaning people purchasing them. We don't need electric bikes anyway. I've gone to too many fires on those. Those things are fucking bad. Anyway, directly encountering efforts to promote green energy solution, industries reliant on these batteries for manufacturing and logistics will also face increased expenses. If you're worried about fucking your electric scooter, your bike, use your fucking fat ass legs and walk your fat ass off. Then you won't have to worry about lithium ion batteries. Done. You kill two birds with one stone. Your e-bike doesn't work anymore because you don't have a lithium battery. Walk your fat ass to work. Furniture. Furniture is the cornerstone of imports from Mexico, Canada, and China. Companies like IKEA have expressed concerns that tariffs will increase cost of the items like couches, tables, and chairs. These hikes will affect not only the individual consumer furniture and their homes, but also businesses such as restaurants and hotels that depend on affordable bulk purchases. Well, you better start getting crates. Get the fucking milk crates and line those up, and there goes your chairs and your stools. Done. That problem solved. Home improvement supplies, tools, fixtures, building materials sources from Canada and China will also be affected. Companies like Lowe's, Stanley Black, Stanley Black and Decker have already noted that tariffs would add significant cost to products used for renovation and construction. This could deter DIY enthusiasts and contractors alike, making home improvement projects more expensive across the board. Duct tape. Duct tape the shit out of your home. Problem solved. There goes your DIY. Duct tape the shit out of whatever project you want to do or use crazy glue. Problem solved. Packaged snacks and beverages. Packaged snacks and beverages often rely on ingredients like sugar, corn, and flavoring imported from Mexico and Canada. Tariffs could increase production costs for chips, cookies. So I'm going to stop you right there. Keep your fat ass from eating these fucking packaged snacks and you won't have anything to worry about. Problem solved. People are like, oh, what about my Doritos? You don't need Doritos. Stop the fucking bullshit. Vitamins and over-the-counter medications. This is where it affects me a little bit. Nearly 78% of vitamins imported into the U.S. come from China. I do not buy anything that comes from China in regards to my vitamins, so I don't have to worry about that. But these proposed tariffs and directly impacting their prices, multivitamin supplements, and even basic medications like ibuprofen could see a price increase. One of you guys mentioned earlier that medications are already on deck as well. So if that's going to be the problem, if you eat clean and take care of yourself, your fat ass won't have to rely on over-the-counter medication. Problem solved. Eat clean, you'll be okay. Hey, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. Why was that? That was an accident. But Bear Lover, thank you for the donation. Thank you for the donation. Yes, you're right. Bear Lover states the people losing it over tariffs will never make it if the shit. No, they won't. You're right. You're right about that. But Super Chat says, I'm horny for women. What should I do? Jerk off. There you go. Problem solved. I'm solving everybody's problems, guys. Patriot Nurse said it. Sorry. I know somebody mentioned Patriot Nurse said it. Excuse me. But listen, the pharmaceutical industry, because a lot of the drugs are being made over there, we were headed down this road anyway. We had problems with pharmaceutical drugs coming from China, and that was a problem a few years ago. So it seemed to have never really recovered, and this is just compounding the situation. Last but not least, construction material. Essential construction material like lumber, steel, and aluminum are imported heavily from Canada and Mexico. With tariff increase their cost, construction projects across the U.S. will see higher budgets. This will likely translate to more expensive housing, infrastructure projects, and commercial development. I have nothing for construction material. I'm not a construction worker, but yeah. But I have nothing. I have nothing on that one. Sorry. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. Clicked on it fast. All right, good. But yes. Anyway, listen. Thank you for the donation, guys. This is the issues that we're seeing, and I think that a lot of this hoopla and this fucking oh my god, there's no food on the shelves. Look. There's one lady. She did a video. She was buying stuff, and she goes, the top shelf behind me normally has shit on it. There's nothing up there now. We'll be okay. We will get through this. We've been through this. We've been through something like this before. Some people say this might be a little worse than the COVID problem, but we'll be all right. There's no need to start acting like a bitch. There really isn't. This will be okay. You think the banks will be overwhelmed? Overwhelmed by what, gal mom? I don't know what you're referring to. I just know that China, I want to read that article real quick. Sorry, let me read that article to you. The Chineses are flipping out. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Protests by unpaid Chinese workers spread amidst factory closure. Workers demand back wages from companies impacted by steep U.S. tariffs and an economic slowdown in China. Protests by workers demanding back wages are spreading across China in a sign of growing discontent among millions suffering the brunt of factory closures, triggered by the steep U.S. tariff on Chinese imports amid economic downturn. This could be good. Christian Miller, man, thank you for the donation. Ma'am, sorry, Christy Miller, thank you for the donation. Across the country, from Hunan Province, Dao County in central China to Qingping City, and I made that up because I can't even pronounce it, in city in the southeast, and Inner Mongolia, Tagolia City to the northeast, hundreds of disgruntled workers have taken to the streets to protest about unpaid wages and to challenge unfair dismissal by factories that forced the shutdown due to U.S. tariffs. Now, this is a post of Chinese people protesting. It's in Chinese, so it's Ching Ping 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 Ping. I don't even know what it says. I'm not gonna play myself. Anyway, strike, strike! Shouted workers outside of the Shangdou Qing Electric Factory. Made that up too. In Suning City on Sunday, in a video of protesters that was posted on social media by an ex-user by the name of Yesterday Big Cat, prompting sources of information about protests in China. Yeah, people are acting like straight up and down bitches with this tariff shit. Like, stop. So I find the right passion. I call BS. BS on what? The protesting. The shit that goes on in China, they keep it close to the vest, but every now and again it does get out to us. And I've asked, and this is a video that I can't play. Oh, I can play, of Chinese workers outside protesting, throwing. I think they're throwing noodles and rice and chopsticks, but whatever. They're fighting back, and it happens from time to time. So anyway, workers said that the Xinjiang headquarters company, which manufactured flexible circuit boards, had not been paid their wages since the start of the year, and Social Security benefits for nearly 2 years, since 2023. Analysts, this article came out the 29th of April, so this is an article, just to make sure. Analysts at U.S.-based investment bank Goldman Sachs estimated that at least 16 million jobs across the industry in China are at risk due to the Donald Trump's imposed 145% tariff on Chinese import. They expect that Trump administration's tariff increase will significantly weigh on Chinese economy, with slower economic growth likely to put further pressure on the country's labor market, particularly in export-related sector. In China's manufacturing industry, communication equipment sector is likely to lose the most jobs, followed by apparel, chemical products, and the chemical product sector. Goldman's analysts, including Xinjiang Cheng and Xinguang Ting, I don't even know what the fuck those names mean, noted that last Sunday. Early this week, more than a dozen migrant workers in Chaoling Village, Tuangyang Village, in Xinjiang Province. Why? Why the fuck, man? Anyway, in Northwest China Province, complained at a local project department saying that they had not received wages since February of 2025. They look like, so this was happening before Trump started smacking his tariffs down. That means China's economy is in way worse shape than they're telling us, and now they're trying to blame Trump for this because the dates don't match, man. He started the smackdown in early April. They have not been getting paid since February and the beginning of the year, according to this article. So this article, or these people, or the Chinese are trying to blame America for this, when in fact they've been doing this shit before Trump even did the smackdown. Let's see. You are 100% right, Amanda Ruby. I don't know what Amanda Ruby said. I would like to see what Amanda Ruby said, but I can't because it's too much here. Whatever. Fuck 'em. Anyway, oh wow, it's 10 o'clock. All right, guys. So that's basically it. The Chinese are trying to blame Trump's tariff, but this shit started at the beginning of this year before he even said anything. Yes, uptech stream. China's economy has been propped up artificially for years. Exactly, and this is just making it worse. And they're having factories shut down. They're putting a lot of workers out of business or out of work, excuse me, with no pay. They're not even paying them. That's the fucking worst part about it. There is a fine to be paid in China if you do this to your workers. We shall wait and see what this is. Everywhere else in Inner Mongolia, many construction workers gathered on a rooftop in Zhengzhou Ruli Garden Community on April 25th, where they threatened to jump off the building if they were not paid back wages that were due in another posted video. Economic pressure. Experts say the growing number of worker protests in China reflect the current crisis of poor management and some Chinese company that signal deeper economic trouble for the country amid trade tensions in the United States. There's a little more to this article, but it's not much. They're trying to fucking fuck off and blame Trump. Other than that, guys, I want to get this out of the way real quick. We're going to run this another 2 minutes late. U.S. health experts raise concern over the H5N1 avian flu virus rapidly propagates throughout U.S. dairy farms. Outbreak has impacted 1,000 dairy herds across the country since March 2024 of last year. It has also resulted in 70 humans infected and at least one verified death. This article is trying to get people scared by saying U.S. prepared for a potential pandemic as new virus spreads in all 50 states amid human transmission concerns. There hasn't been a direct human transmission concern or one human transmission, but they haven't been a human to human, and that's what they're worried about. Right now, it's animals to human or cows to human. They're worried about human to human, and that's where that happens, it's going to take off. But they keep warning us about this shit. They keep getting people scared about the possibility of a human-to-human transmission. It hasn't happened yet. And if it happens, it's going to get bad. I can promise you that. But it hasn't happened yet. Why the fuck are you scaring the shit out of everybody? Anyway. This is just more scare tactic and more scaring from the media. Bottom line. And this is fucking out of control. And to get people up in arms over the avian flu for fucking what? Doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, guys, we're going to move over to the Angry Truth channel now. We're going to have some fun over there. Well, we're not going to have fun. Actually, we're going to talk about an epidemic that no one's talking about. And this epidemic, I think, is the reason why, a part of the reason why my son did what he did. And I'm talking about this because somebody reached out to me that we should talk about it, and I'm going to do a separate video on it, but I'm doing a live stream on it tonight. We're going to go over the cause of this epidemic that no one is talking about here in America. Other than that, guys, thank you for joining me. I appreciate the donation. I appreciate the wild ass shit that was going on in the comment. I saw some wild shit in there tonight. Thank you for that. Other than that, guys, thank you, and see you guys next week for the doubleheader.